Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news tonight here on Sabha TV. I'm Tracy Shilshi and in the next 30 minutes I'll be getting you the day's top stories, starting with the headlines. The Pampur encounter finally ends after a 56-hour gun battle. Security personnel killed 2 terrorists holed up in the Entrepreneurship Development Building Institute. Opposition seeks apology from the Defence Minister for asserting that Congress's claims of previous surgical strikes were false, while Parrikar says full credit for the recent strikes should go to the armed forces and government's planning. Tamil Nadu opposition DMK welcomes allocation of portfolios held by Tamil Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha to finance. The State Finance Minister O. Pannirselvam calls it a responsible decision. And Russian senators ratify the agreement allowing permanent deployment of the country's air force in Syria. Diplomatic efforts to revive ceasefire in war-torn country failed to make any headway. All right, our top story. Home Minister Rajnath Singh on Wednesday reviewed the security situation in the country and particularly in Jammu and Kashmir with Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar, the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and other top officials. During the hour-long meeting, top officials briefed the Home Minister and the Defence Minister on the situation in Jammu and Kashmir and also that in the wake of the 56-hour gun battle between militants and security forces, which ended in Pampur today. The 3-day-long encounter ended with security forces killing both the terrorists.
After 56 hours of a fierce gun battle, the encounter in Pampur district of Jammu and Kashmir finally ended on Wednesday, leaving 2 terrorists dead. 1 terrorist was killed on Tuesday, while another was shot dead today morning at the battered Entrepreneurship Development Institute building. Army used over 50 rockets, machine guns and hundreds of grenades against the terrorists holed up inside the government building. Elite para-commandos of the army were also called in to neutralize the terrorists. According to sources, the terrorists used rockets, grenades and automatic gunfire to cover themselves.
This operation was a very tricky operation because it is a very huge building and we did not want to do any of the collateral damage. There are 2 people who have been eliminated and the 2 weapons which have been recovered. Rest of the things, as far as recoveries are concerned, we'll give you the list about all the things. Otherwise, this operation, because of being too many rooms and too many floors, it is a tedious process.
2 security personnel and a policeman were injured in the encounter. The encounter between security forces and terrorists at EDI building began on Monday when the terrorists stormed into the complex and took positions inside the building. In a separate incident, the army foiled an infiltration bid by militants from across the line of control in Tangadhar sector of Kupwara district.
The encounter that took place in Baramulla, the attack that happened, we had information that there might be people who would try to sneak into the city or carry out these type of attacks on the highway. So our people were alert. We are prepared for any eventuality. So any deployment that has to be done in terms of defensive posturing, that is being done, and also in terms of proactive operations, they would also be conducted.
Curfew remained in force in parts of Srinagar as a precautionary measure on the 10th day of Muharram. Restrictions were also imposed in 4 police station areas of Saur, Lal Bazar, Zadibal and Nigeen. Normal life was affected in the valley for the 96th day due to a shutdown called by separatists. However, shops and other business establishments opened for business during the relaxation announced by the separatists on same day of the week. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
However, the political battle over last month's surgical strikes continues. The Congress today responded sharply to Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar's assertion that the Congress's claims of carrying out surgical strikes were false. Parrikar had also said that the credit for the surgical strikes belonged to the armed forces and the whole country and not to any political party. Here's a report.
Amid allegations by opposition parties that the government is taking undue credit for the recent surgical strikes in Pak-occupied Kashmir, Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar said on Wednesday that every Indian, including the doubting Thomases, can share the credit with the Indian Army for the successful operation.
I don't mind sharing credits, including the surgical strikes, with every countryman of this great country, because it is done by our armed forces and not by any political party. So all Indians, including those doubting Thomases, also including, can share the credit.
Parrikar, however, asserted that a major share of the credit for the strikes does go to the Prime Minister and the government for decision-making and planning.
One for myself, I will only share the credit. At the most, the major share goes to Prime Minister. But the issue I will at least claim the credit is decision-making ability and planning.
Parrikar's remarks come at a time when a number of opposition leaders, including Rahul Gandhi, have accused the Prime Minister and his cabinet ministers of exaggerating the government's role in the military action across the line of control. The Congress even claimed that when it was in power, 3 similar cross-border strikes had been carried out. Those, however, were not publicized to prevent escalation of tensions with Pakistan and to allow the army the secrecy and space it needs for highly sensitive operations.
It does not behove a Defence Minister of India to insult the service, sacrifice and valour of our armed forces by shamelessly denying the factum of earlier surgical strikes by our armed forces to defend the honour as also the country at large. Blinded by political vote garnering out of the blood and sacrifice of our soldiers, Mr. Parrikar is unabashedly lying and misleading the people of India.
Amid the political heat over the surgical strikes, families of soldiers beheaded by Pakistani militants in 2011 lashed out at those doubting the Indian Army.
ऐसी राजनीति नहीं होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान बॉर्डर में अपने बच्चों को लड़ाई में भेजे तो तब इन लोगों को पता चलेगा कि लड़ाई लड़नी क्या चीज़ होती है।
के लिए क्या करना चाहिए, वही खुद जरा बॉर्डर में जाके देखें क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा है करके, खुद जाएं अपने बच्चों को भेजें, तब उन्हें पता चलेगा कि क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा है।
Lance Naik Devinder Singh and Havaldar Jaipal Singh Adhikari were killed by Pakistani terrorists in July 2011 during a gun battle. Their mutilated bodies were later dumped near the line of control in Kupwara district of Jammu and Kashmir. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now to Tamil Nadu, where the opposition DMK welcomed the allocation of portfolios held by Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha to the State Finance Minister O. Pannirselvam. He will now be presiding over the cabinet meetings also until the CM fully recovers. With the state involved in the Kaveri water issue with Karnataka and the monsoon set to set in soon, the DMK called it a responsible decision taken by Jayalalitha. Meanwhile, Tamil Nadu police on Tuesday enlisted private cyber experts to keep a watch on social media platforms. Stern action will reportedly be taken against those indulging in rumour-mongering and spreading malicious content about Jayalalitha's health. 43 cases have been registered and 2 arrests have been made by the police so far. The guilty could be jailed for more than 7 years.
As for Honorable CM's instruction, our Honorable Minister, Mr. Pannirselvam, has taken the portfolios of Chief Ministers because doctors says that Honorable CM must be in rest for some more time. Even we feel Honorable CM must be in rest for some more time because she never took rest at all in her life. So as for Rama's instruction, Governor has given a note saying that Honorable CM's portfolios will be taken care by Honorable Minister, Mr. Pannirselvam. And everybody knows he has been Chief Minister also for some time. He's a very good worker, very humble and simple man. So he has taken this portfolios now for time being.
In a gruesome incident in Punjab, a Dalit youth was found murdered with his left leg chopped off at Gharangna village of Mansa district on Monday night. 6 people from the village have been booked for the murder. The body of the Dalit youth is still lying in the mortuary of a local hospital, as his family says that they will not cremate the body until the missing leg is recovered and all the accused are arrested. According to local news reports, the 22-year-old youth was allegedly killed by a group of upper caste men, mostly landlords, all of whom are reportedly involved in liquor smuggling. The Dalit youth himself was also involved in the liquor business and clashed with the group of the upper caste men several times in the past few months. Opposition Congress has accused the state government of complete lawlessness.
दोनों होए एक मानसा होया एक संगरूर होया एंड वन दोनों दलितां दे बच्चे से दोनों नु मारया गया एक दा पता लग्या कि बादल दे ड्राइवर दा मुंडा है इन्वॉल्वड सो वी डिमांड एन इन्वेस्टिगेशन इनटू दैट। ये जो घटना हुई है वो एक मामूली ये हत्या की घटना नहीं है। एक गरीब दलित के अंगों को काटा गया और उनके शरीर के अंग भी साथ ले गए। इससे पहले भीमटांग हत्याकांड में भी ऐसा हुआ था, तो तब भी सुखबीर बादल जी, प्रकाश सिंह बादल जी, सारी गवर्नमेंट इन मुजरिमों को बचाने में लगी रही। आज भी जत्थेदारों के ऊपर ये इल्जाम लग रहे हैं कि वो शेल्टर कर रहे हैं, कातिलों को पकड़े नहीं दे रहे।
Well, Congress, of course, will try and take advantage from this controversy and is also confident that several leaders from the opposition parties, including the Akali Dal, are waiting to join the party. Punjab Congress Chief Captain Amrinder Singh said this after inducting former Akali leaders Inderbir Singh Bularia and Upkar Singh Sandhu. Assembly polls are due in Punjab early next year, and the Congress is looking to bank on strong anti-incumbency in the state to defeat the ruling SAD-BJP combined. The party is also fighting off opposition charges that it was luring away the ruling Combine's leaders, saying that 2 Akali leaders had joined the Congress of their own accord. The Congress is hopeful of putting up a better show this time around. In 2012, the party won just 46 of the 117 seats, with the Shiromani Akali Dal winning 54.
जो साडे विच आउंदे ने दे कम अनकंडीशनली। बलारिया साहब या संधू साहब ने कोई कंडीशन नहीं लगाया। जेडे पहला आए ने कोई कंडीशन नहीं लगाएंगे और जो बाद भी आउणगे वो कोई कंडीशन अनकंडीशनल आउणगे सारे। एंड देन असी फैसला करांगे विद द कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट फैसला करेंगे कि किने लड़ना है।
Well, politics aside, and looking at the issues in Punjab, despite a record paddy output, farmers are upset with the procurement this year. They say that the government's insistence in enforcing a moisture content limit of 17% is resulting in a huge delay in procurement process. Here's a special report.
Lining up with bags of paddy crop, the farmers are bracing for a long wait at the Bhatinda and Gidarwa grain markets.
अच्छा देखिए सरकार का पैमाना जो 17 तक का है, ठीक है जी, मेरे ख्याल से भी छूट देनी चाहिए कुछ 1-2%। 18 तक जो 19 तक तो चाहिए।
15 दिन हो गए जी इत्थे बैठे नूं, कभी बोल देंगे गिला, कभी आंदे सफाई नहीं आई, कभी कुछ बोल देते हैं, कभी कुछ बोल देते हैं, तो परेशान कर रहे हैं। कभी बाह नहीं लगाउंदे, जे बाह लगाउंदे आ तो 200-400 गट्टे का बाह लगाउंदे आ, इससे ज़्यादा बाह नहीं लगाउंदे।
The arrival of the quality controllers triggers hope among the farmers, but it will still be quite a while before they get their produce measured for moisture content.
जो पैडी के अंदर मॉइस्चर ज़्यादा होगा तो जो मिल के अंदर जो पैडी जाएगी, जो मिलिंग करेंगे तो इसके अंदर चावल की रिकवरी जो है यील्ड जो कम हो जाती है उसके अंदर।
ज़्यादा नमी होने से चोना हीट हो जाता है जी, जो हाँ डिस्कलर डैमेज होता है। जो पंजाब सरकार की हिदायत है हमें उसी हिसाब से सफाई करा के नमी जो उन्हें हिदायत दी है जी उसी हिसाब से चोना ले रहे हैं।
Punjab produced 186 million tons of paddy this year, about 10 million tons more than last year. The state government says it can't procure the crop if the humidity quotient exceeds 17%.
हम किसानों को कह रहे हैं, बोल रहे हैं किसानों को कि नमी रात को जो त्रेल आ जाती है, रात को ना कटाई की जाए। सिर्फ अगर किसी का झोना अगर आ गया है तो अगर वो धूप लगने के बाद कटाई करता है तो उसका जो मॉइस्चर वो ठीक जाता है। अब मान के चलो अगर 20 का हो, किसी का 21 हो, अगर वो भर दिया जाता है तो नुकसान होता है, वो हीट पकड़ता है, आगे जाके उसमें वो चावल जो खराब होता है, आगे पब्लिक के लिए जाना होता है, तो ये सब देखना पड़ता है।
Last week, the Haryana government announced paddy procurement with moisture content up to 22%. The Punjab farmers are also demanding a similar limit so that their long wait is also suitably reduced. With camera person Sudhanshu, Sanjay Kumar's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
With a quick break here, we'll be back with the international news in a bit. Stay with us.
That clock ticked through the night. So much happened as you slept. So much you missed.
Wake up to a complete roundup of news from India and abroad. Politics, strategy, business, sports. Keen analysis to kickstart your day. Watch Breakfast News weekdays at 8 a.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Harappan sites are a treasure trove of sophisticated pottery. These creations show tremendous advances by the potter's wheel. Creations like the perforated jar, the copper axe, the chisel and knives astound even present-day archaeologists. Figurines depicting yoga poses, chess pieces display a complexity unsurpassed even by later-day civilizations, all of which make the Harappan civilization truly unique.
Welcome back. Let's get to some international news. In fact, coming in from Pakistan, that the Pakistani newspaper Dawn rejected allegations of false reporting a day after the government imposed a travel ban on one of its journalists. The report in question mentioned a rift between civil and military leadership over covert support to militants. Meanwhile, the US has expressed concern over the difficulties and dangers faced by journalists in Pakistan, though it did stop short of commenting on the travel restrictions imposed on the Dawn reporter Cyril Almeida. He has been put on an exit control list for reporting a rift between the civilian and military leadership in the country. The restrictions placed on Almeida have come in for a lot of criticism, with the All Pakistan Newspaper Society, the Council of Pakistan Newspaper Editors, the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan all urging the government to remove him from the list.
On press freedom, it's obviously an issue that we continue to raise regularly with the government of Pakistan, including our concerns about the difficulties and the dangers that journalists face there. We're concerned about any efforts to limit press freedom or the ability of journalists to conduct their very, very important work.
Russian senators ratified an agreement for the permanent deployment of the country's air force in Syria. The approval comes soon after Russian forces resumed bombing in rebel-held areas in Syria's Aleppo. With the ceasefire looking far-fetched, civilians are increasingly getting caught in the crossfire, raising the number of casualties every day.
Russian senators ratified an agreement on Wednesday that allows permanent deployment of the country's air force in Syria, solidifying Moscow's projection of power in the Middle East. The agreement was approved by 158 senators, with just one abstaining. The decision comes just a day after Russian jets resumed bombardment of rebel-held eastern Aleppo after several days of relative calm. At least 50 people were killed in the two neighborhoods that were hit. The Syrian and Russian forces are focusing on the rebel-held areas of Aleppo. Syrian forces also recaptured the town of Kokab on Tuesday as it continued targeting rebel groups in Hama province. The offensive in Hama was launched in August.
طبعا نحن بنعرف انه منطقة الريف الشمالي لحما هي عبارة عن منطقة لحامية وتتمتع بأهمية استراتيجية كبيرة، وهي الدليل انه نشوف المعارك الدائرة حاليا بينه وبين المجموعات الإرهابية المسلحة. وحاليا قوات الجيش بالتعاون مع القوات الرديفة تقوم بتحرير عدة مناطق في الريف الشمالي لمدينة حما.
Meanwhile, calls for a ceasefire in Syria to allow the evacuation of civilians are gaining ground.
È con un senso di urgenza che rinnovo il mio appello, implorando con tutta la mia forza i responsabili affinché si provveda a un immediato cessate il fuoco, che sia imposto e rispettato almeno per il tempo necessario a consentire l'evacuazione dei civili.
Diplomatic efforts to revive the ceasefire have so far come to nothing. The UN has warned that eastern Aleppo, where an estimated 2.75 lakh people still live, could face total destruction in the space of 2 months. Last week, Russia had vetoed a UN Security Council resolution drafted by France calling for an end to the bombing in Aleppo. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, the US presidential polls are becoming acrimonious with each passing day, and days after an audio tape of Republican nominee Donald Trump making derogatory remarks against women emerged, polls show him falling further behind Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton, and the Clinton campaign is doing its best to wrest the advantage.
Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump's disparaging remarks against women has caught global attention, with several voices rising against him. The latest to join in is the top UN human rights official who said that if Trump becomes president, it would present a global danger.
If Donald Trump is elected on the basis of what he has said already, and unless that changes, I think it's without any doubt that he would be dangerous from an international point of view.
Hussein's statement comes close on the heels of US President Barack Obama saying that Donald Trump would disqualify himself from even a low-level job due to his intolerable comments.
The guy says stuff that nobody would find tolerable if they were applying for a job at 7-Eleven. The fact that now you've got people saying, well, we strongly disapprove. We really disagree. We find those comments disgusting. But we're still endorsing him. We still think he should be president. That doesn't make sense to me.
Polls show that Trump has fallen further behind Clinton since the release of the recording. Even 1 in every 5 Republicans say his vulgar comments disqualify him from the presidency. The last few days has seen support grow for Hillary Clinton.
I don't want you to be in a position years from now where you welcome Hillary Clinton and say, actually, you did win. It just wasn't close enough to make sure that all the votes were counted or whatever. Elections have consequences. Your vote counts. Your vote has consequences.
My job is one thing and one thing only, to tell you why Hillary should be the next president of the United States. For you. It's about you. This election belongs to you. The first thing I recommend is that you take it back.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump seems to be rattled by all the negative attention. At a campaign rally in Florida on Tuesday, he urged supporters to get registered and go out and vote, but got the date wrong.
There's never been anything like this. So go and register. Make sure you get out and vote November 28th. If you've already registered, request an absentee ballot today and vote really early. We've got to win.
The United States presidential election will be held on November 8th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Shia pilgrims were targeted in the Afghan capital Kabul on Tuesday, with a lone gunman killing at least 14 people in a shrine. The pilgrims had gathered to celebrate Ashura, one of the most important festivals on the Shia Muslim calendar. The gunman was later killed by security forces. Here's a report.
Shia pilgrims targeted in Afghanistan capital Kabul on Tuesday. Lone gunman opened fire in a Shiite shrine, killing 14 people before Afghan security forces killed him. The attack took place at about 8 p.m. at the Karte Sakhi shrine as the Shia Muslims prepared for Ashura, a religious day of mourning. Eyewitnesses say the man dressed in police uniform shot at police with a pistol before taking one of their AK-47 assault rifles and firing randomly at worshippers. A police officer and a child were among those killed and 36 people were wounded. After a 2-hour-long battle, security forces killed the gunman. No group has claimed responsibility yet.
10 نفر زخمی را کشید، 4 نفر شهید شد، 6 نفر زخمی بود، برد شد شفاخانه همین علی آباد برد شد و خود نفرم که انتحاری آمده بود که کالای عسکری آمده بود.
Shiite minority have been repeatedly targeted in Afghanistan. In July, 84 people were killed in an attack on Shia Muslims in Kabul. It was claimed by the Islamic State. Another mass killing occurred in August when attackers killed 13 at Kabul University. Tuesday's attack came as Afghanistan deployed hundreds of commandos to drive Taliban militants from the capital of Helmand province, Lashkar Gah, in the south. Lashkar Gah is in lockdown, with many families trying to flee the fighting. Schools and universities have been closed indefinitely.
کشتی استقامت چې دی راوتلو د کشتی استقامت د کشتی باندې کومه دغه ساحه ټول د مختار ساحه د مهاجرینو ساحه د دشمن په لاس کې او هغه بیرته د افغان ملي امنیتي ځواکو ولاسته بیرته رااله.
The wave of violence underscored unraveling security in Afghanistan as the resurgent Taliban continue a push into urban centers 15 years after they were toppled from power by the US invasion. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And here are more international news updates in Global Buzz. Lawyers for the main suspect in last year's Islamist attacks in Paris say that they will no longer defend him as he chooses to remain silent. Salah Abdeslam, who was captured earlier this year, is said to have objected to being placed under 24-hour surveillance and has refused to cooperate with investigators. The attacks in Paris last November killed 130 people. NASA says the next US cargo supply trip to the International Space Station has been postponed until Sunday due to Hurricane Nicole. Initially set for Thursday, Orbital ATK will now launch its unmanned Cygnus cargo ship no earlier than Sunday. Tropical storm Nicole is expected to reach Bermuda as a hurricane on the 13th of October. The Philippines has formally sent an invitation to the United Nations to probe the increasing number of drug-related killings in the country. The government is urging the UN to also look into the killings of law enforcers who were killed in the campaign to eradicate illicit drugs. News reports said that more than 3,000 suspects have been killed in the fight against drugs since President Rodrigo Duterte took over this year. As many as 350,000 households were left without electricity on Wednesday after a fire erupted at an underground cable facility on the outskirts of Tokyo. However, all power was restored within an hour. The cause of the fire, though, was not immediately known. And that's all we could pack in on the news tonight. Thanks so much for joining us.